everyone, so in this video I'm going to cover some of the various eco-villages and intentional communities I visited while traveling the country. We're going to go ahead and start in my home state of Arizona with the eco-village of Avalon Gardens. Now, Avalon Gardens is located south of Tucson on a 220-acre property. It's been around for 20 years, and these guys originally started up in Sedona, but there was a lot more stricter rules on what they could do, and it was also a lot more expensive. So they moved down to Tucson, and what I thought was pretty cool is they told me that they took almost all of the soil that they could with them that they'd been working on and developing. So I attended Avalon Gardens for a weekend gathering, and one of my things I was most impressed by was when I pulled off the freeway and went into the community was just how green and vibrant everything was. It did not feel like you were out in the middle of the desert. So that was really, really cool. They had greenhouses everywhere. They had gardens, these cute little eco-friendly homes. It was just amazing what they have done down there, and couldn't really believe what you can actually grow in the desert, you know, next to the Mexican border. It was really, really impressive. So currently they have over 120 members, and I found it interesting that when people do become members there, they choose different names than their original birth name. So they had some very unique names, and I thought that was pretty cool. And, you know, most of the people there told me they wanted to become a member of an eco-village because they wanted to get out of a dysfunctional society, have community support, and learn how to slow down in life and focus on what's important, you know, becoming more sustainable, learning how to grow food, spending quality time together. So I thought that was really neat. And in this community, they even have like their own building crew where they make their own buildings, and they also do outreach, so they offer their services to people around in the community to help with sustainable building. They also had a really, really cool nature and academic program for the kids. The children there get your standard GED academic lessons, but they also learn gardening. They have so much more time outdoors. They have incredibly healthy food provided to them. They have their own music room. They had like their own CD recorded. They had amazing crafts for the children. And the children that I spoke to were very excited to be there. And another cool thing was even kids in the community who don't live at Avalon Gardens, a lot of kids in the surrounding neighborhood, though, still attend their school program. So that was really neat. So this community receives a lot of its income support by hosting, you know, weekend events where they have celebrations. They have an amazing stage performance area on the property with this really beautiful pond behind it. So they have very talented musicians come. They have people who speak on enlightening subjects come and talk. They offer workshops. They also offer internships. And it was kind of nice for the festival that I attended. You know, they had an alcohol and drug-free policy, so it felt very safe there. It was incredibly clean. There was no trash. The food was great. It was really awesome. Now, there is an application process to be a part of the community. I believe there's a 3-week internship where you immerse yourself in the community. And I don't know exactly all what the application entails, but I was told, you know, they do have children that live in this community, so they are very careful with who they allow to move in, what your spiritual background is, or your reasons for wanting to be a part of the community. So the next place we went on this road trip was to the Lama Foundation, which is located just north of Taos, New Mexico. The Lama Foundation is one of the oldest intentional communities in the United States, and it originally formed in 1967. So 3 friends came together and they purchased the land with the intention of initiating a community. And the name Lama comes from the road that the property is actually on, not because it's associated with the Dalai Lama, but it is still a spiritual community that accepts all cultures and embracing the one God, one love mentality. So there was something pretty devastating that happened to the community in the early 90s, and for you astrology fans out there, this happened during the community's Saturn return. But the community underwent a pretty devastating fire that was caused by a neighbor burning trash, and I guess some of the trash got swept up by the wind, and that's what ignited the flame. But it was pretty devastating for the community. A lot of their buildings were burned. They lost a lot of their beautiful trees, and you can still see the remainder of this, of what happened from that fire, still there today. However, the original community building did happen to escape the fire, and this building is absolutely amazing. It took my breath away with the architecture. There's an incredible library, an awesome music room. They have a really cool shared bathhouse, and just an amazing big open sacred space with these huge windows that you can sit right in and look out at the nature and the forest. That was probably my favorite thing about this community, was the unique and beautiful architecture. And currently there are 9 full-time residents, and they also have land stewards. And land stewards are interns who spend 3 weeks participating in the community. And these interns are people who potentially want to become members, but they intern first, see how they like the community. The community members can feel them out as well before joining. Now, this community has community meals every morning and evening, and they rotate head cooks, but their meals were incredibly delicious. And it was a very clean and productive community. This was actually also where Ram Dass wrote his book, Be Here Now. So anybody is welcome to come and join this community for dinner, or also come and camp out on the property. They usually ask between $10 to $20 donation a night, which covers your food, covers your showers, covers out your camping fee. So it was pretty cool. And also, please just call ahead prior to your arrival. None of these communities just want you to show up unexpected. Always call ahead. But the Lama Foundation receives support through different workshops that it hosts. It also hosts various spiritual retreats, and then they do plenty of tours, the internships, and also through donations. And just like Avalon Gardens, Lama Foundation has a no drug or alcohol policy. And they have several small cabins scattered around the property where the people live. And it's on this pristine mountaintop. It was so beautiful to their dining area and stuff. It was just fantastic how it's right up in the clouds. It was probably the most amazing views out of all the communities we got to visit. So the next community is Earth Haven, which is located just outside of Asheville, North Carolina. It's on a 320-acre property, and 16 original founders came together to purchase this land, and they did so after years of research of learning how to build with minimal impact. This community was really, really impressive with their permaculture gardens, their solar and hydropower. They were completely off-grid. They also had a lot of playgrounds for the children, fun things for the kids to do. I really liked their cute painted signs to help direct people around the property. They also had bridges with crystals embedded in them, so they did a really good job with that, and it was super cute and creative. Now, Earth Haven has 13 neighborhoods in the community, and unlike some of the communities we visited that were income sharing, Earth Haven is not income sharing. People purchase their own plot of land to build their small home. However, there are rentals and internships available. But like I said, it's not a shared income, and most people have outside jobs. They also have a useful plant nursery. All the plants are edible, so residents or anyone outside of the community is still welcome to come and purchase plants. I thought it was really cool, and I definitely learned a lot about plants while volunteering with them here. Earth Haven has shared childcare, so they kind of rotate among the parents who watches the children. They'll watch them in the community center where they have a library there. They have a bunch of toys. They have a really cool kitchen. They also do outdoor programs with the children as well, where they go on nature hikes. And the children were very, very happy and vibrant and healthy, and you could tell that they had a lot of friends in the community, which was really cute. They also have a weekly farmers market, so they take the stuff that they're growing there in their community and set it up to be sold, and also surrounding neighbors who sell or who grow different things come and they sell there as well. So it's a really cool gathering with everyone that's in the community and in the Black Mountain area. They have coffee, and I just really enjoyed that aspect of it and how they share what they grow and sell it at a really reasonable price. So this community, when you become a member or when you're working on becoming a member, they have several hours that you dedicate to bettering the community, cleaning up, weeding, just kind of pitching in and doing your part where you feel called. They also have their own currency called leaps, and leaps for them is like when they do sort of like energy exchange, like as far as like there's people in the community that offer haircuts, offer massages, offer acupuncture. So with this currency that they have within their community, it can pay for some of those things. When I did visit this community, they were kind of under a restructuring process, so they weren't currently accepting any new members or putting out the availability to purchase land and to build within Earth Haven. However, there is still internships available and the ability to visit and take a tour or camp out. So another long-lasting community in the United States is Twin Oaks, which is located in Virginia and originally formed in 1967. Now, Twin Oaks is a shared income community, and they have very successful businesses. For example, they have a tofu making business. They also are really talented with making hammocks, and they also have a very small dairy, which is really humane in the way that they run this dairy, and that it's not like mass-produced factory farms, high quality, and the animals are treated with a lot of love and respect. Now, Twin Oaks has over 100 members. They also have a free childcare. It's a really cute schoolhouse that the children get to attend. They have snacks provided from the garden, what grows there on the property. Their school was absolutely adorable. And this community, it's very structured. They have weekly quotas that they expect to be filled each week. But the people who live there get $75 a week. However, your rent and your utilities are covered. You get to choose where you want to work. And everyone who lives there has their own room, even couples. They were saying, like, everyone has their own room just in the case something happens where somebody breaks up. People still have somewhere to go, and you're not just stuck in the same room with somebody that's no longer your boyfriend or girlfriend. Twin Oaks also had community cars, so people can sign one out, and people could tag along with people who are taking a trip into town, or they could request things to be brought back to them. They even had an on-site garage and mechanics available to fix any of the cars. Twin Oaks also had community lunch and dinner provided every day. They also rotate the cooks, but these communities seriously provide some of the most amazing meals I've ever had, and it's so fun because you just sit down with great down-to-earth people, and the food's fantastic, the conversations are fantastic. Like, I think the mealtime was my favorite part about visiting these communities. And to join Twin Oaks, you also have to do an internship, and then they do this kind of cool thing where a potential member gets 1 hour to talk to the whole entire community and tell their life story. And then the members can ask questions to feel out their personality and get to know them better. And I could see how perhaps this might make people feel on the spot or nervous, but I thought it was a really cool and unique way to get to know somebody and seeing if you really want them in your community or not. Now, just 7 miles down the road from Twin Oaks is their sister community called Acorn. Now, Twin Oaks bought this land when Twin Oaks was outgrowing itself, which was about 22 years ago. Now, Acorn is on a smaller property, but they have a really cool large community house with an amazing kitchen. It's a much more laxed community than Twin Oaks, as in they don't have the strict weekly quotas to fulfill. People kind of get things done when they want to, so it's not as organized and it's not as productive, you could say. but it was still a really beautiful community. Acorn has its own successful seed exchange business, but like I said, like, they may or may not have dinner made every night for everybody. There's just some differing things like that, but I honestly absolutely loved the people from this community so much. They were probably my favorite out of all the ones we visited. I just really enjoyed the conversations and how lovely everyone was. There was 25 members when we visited. They had a designated smoking area because they said that cigarette butts on the ground can change the way the plants germinate. But unlike the Lama Foundation or Avalon Gardens, Acorn did not have a drug or alcohol policy, so there was a bit more people drinking or smoking. It's not like it was anything to be weary of or uncomfortable about, but they did have that happen. In their community house, they have internet available to people. They had toys. They had a cool movie projector if you wanted to watch a movie at night. They had one wall with all these different cubby holes. So again, if you had a request from something you wanted from town, but you didn't necessarily want to go to town, you could put down your request, and then you could go find it in your cubby later on. I was told that the most popular items that people request are chocolate, ice cream, and tobacco. And if someone is interested in being a part of Acorn, I believe it's a little easier to get into than Twin Oaks. But again, I think they still have the internship process, and where you have to spend some time there and see if it's something you really want to be a part of, and also if they still have rooms available and so forth. So the final community that I visited on my road trip was Heathcote, near Baltimore in the state of Maryland. Now, this one is on 39 acres, and it was the closest to city limits than any of the other communities I visited. This community was founded in 1965 when Mildred Lewis bought the land after she was inspired by the work from Ralph Borsodi. She read the book The Ugly Civilization, which was written in 1929, which explained that land is the source of all wealth and should never be privately owned or taken over by the government. Ralph Borsodi witnessed the Great Depression, and he saw humanity going down a dark road of materialism and choosing quantity over quality. In the book, he mentions that it's important to have land near an urban area to sell goods, or so that people can learn how to be close to the earth again. Mildred Lewis bought the land for that reason. However, Baltimore County now has some of the strictest zoning laws in the country, and if Mildred would have known that, she perhaps would have bought land elsewhere. Because of these zoning laws, Heathcote unfortunately has faced a lot of restriction on what they could do as far as hosting their workshops and their retreats. They were very, very successful at hosting permaculture classes, solar panels, how to build, all these amazing workshops that they were offering. However, a neighbor complained about the traffic that was coming in and out of there because of how successful they were with these programs. And because of that, even though they're on a 39-acre property and there were multiple buildings on this property, the property is only zoned for one house, and so that the buildings that they were using to house the guests that were coming to visit are no longer available. So for several years now, Heathcote has not been able to provide the workshops that they have been, which was pretty sad. But they have received quite a bit, nearly $50,000 in donations, and they are working with people to help them get rezoned and getting this taken care of. So Heathcote currently has 12 members, and most of them are retired. And I thought it was really cute because we sat down for a community dinner with them, and it was just really nice because I kind of felt like I was just sitting down with all of my grandparents, and it was really cool to see how they have one another for support. They're not eating alone at night. They have each other. They're working together to cook meals together. So I just thought that was really special and beautiful to see that side of community, where people aren't alone, especially our elderly. Community members here pay $100 a month for 8 years, and you're paid off, and you're paying it to the School of Living Land Trust. Now, the School of Living is an organization that keeps communities like Heathcote protected from ever being developed or sold. And it will also help communities if they ever go into financial problems. So they helped pay off this community's tax debt in the 1980s. So it's, I think that's really interesting how you can put your community into the School of Living Land Trust to keep it protected from ever being bought or sold or developed. And like I said, they will help you if you ever get into financial issues. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and were inspired by some of the eco-villages you got to see that exist around the country. If you would like more information on these communities, then check out starseedstory.com. Part 1 and Part 2 from the Diary of a Starseed series are available now. It's an amazing true story that takes you on a wild adventure around the country and goes way more into detail than this video. So check them out and I hope you enjoy.